What's up, guys? Today on OCD Space, we are talking about obsessional doubt. All right, guys, today we're talking about obsessional doubt. This is a topic and a concept that really trips people up when they're learning ICBT, but it is actually the foundation of the treatment. So it's really important to get a handle on what obsessional doubt is, what doubt is, and understand these processes. So, number one, we should just talk about how the reason people can get really confused is because you might be coming from other treatment approaches. So, if you've done ACT, or you've done ERP, or you've done CBT, you're going to be used to a certain way of thinking about OCD. And that tends to be what we call the cycle of avoidance, where we conceptualize OCD as a problem where you get an intrusive thought that you don't like, and that intrusive thought makes you feel a really uncomfortable emotion that you don't like, and then you do some sort of compulsion or avoidance to get out of the situation, and the cycle repeats itself over and over and over again. And we're all really used to thinking about OCD that way if you've been in therapy or if you've been providing treatment for these issues. The problem is that when you encounter ICBT and you hear about obsessional doubt, or you just hear about doubt, you want to fit it into that old schema, and you're trying to figure out where it goes. And so you might be thinking, oh, is doubt a thought? Is doubt, can you get an intrusive doubt? Is doubt some sort of mental compulsion you do to get out of the intrusive thought? And the truth is, it is none of the above. And what you have to do is you got to take that cycle of avoidance and, as much as possible, wipe it out of your memory. Get rid of it. Because obsessional doubt doesn't even fit into this framework. We're really looking at things from a whole new way of thinking. And so what you do is you have to forget about the cycle of avoidance and then kind of with fresh eyes look at ICBT and start to understand what is doubt and what is obsessional doubt. And it's way more simple than it seems. Because really, one thing about obsessional doubt is it actually comes before that whole cycle of avoidance. Obsessional doubt is what we say starts the OCD cycle. And at its most simple level, we're just looking at how a doubt is just you being in a place of what we would call functional certainty, where you're feeling okay, you're not worried, there aren't, things on your mind, you feel safe, the world is quiet and you're trusting the quiet. And then something happens and you're taken out of that place, you're taken to a place of questioning things now. You're suddenly wondering, did everything that I thought I just knew, could that be wrong in some way? Was that safety an illusion? Maybe there's something I wasn't aware of in the world going on that suggests I'm not safe, or things aren't good right now. And that's just a general definition of a doubt from an ICBT perspective. And so we're looking at that, that's the process of doubt. And then we're looking at the difference between reasonable doubt and obsessional doubt, because doubt is a normal phenomenon. There's going to be things in life that everybody, OCD or not, does reasonably for good reason. And when I say reasonably, I mean something happens in the outside world that just kind of wallops us, with its presence and its evidence. And it undeniably tells us that maybe there is something going on we're not aware of. So let's look at an example of a reasonable doubt. Let's say you're a coffee drinker, you like half and half in your coffee, you wake up every morning, and that's the first thing you do. So you head into the kitchen, brew yourself coffee, make yourself a cup, take out the half and half, and as soon as you grab that container of half and half, you're overwhelmed by a smell of sour milk. And you might even take a double take, did I really smell that? Put your nose up to it. Oof, yeah. Okay, not good. This is not healthy. This is going to make me sick. It's going to gross me out. You dump out the half and half. And sadly, are going to have to wait for your coffee that morning till you can get some good half and half, or maybe drink black coffee. But I digress. You basically experienced a reasonable doubt in that situation. And so you were in a place of functional certainty. You were going about your routine as normal. You had no reason to, before you got to the kitchen, worry about the half and half. You thought everything was going to be fine. And then something happened in the outside world telling you, nope, this morning's different. Something's going on. And it wallops you, and you're like, oh yeah, this is not good, and you do something about it. So that's an example of reasonable doubt, where you were feeling confident in the world around you, and something told you there's something not right. Do something about this. Now, that's going to be very different from what we see with OCD, which is obsessional doubt. Now, an example of an obsessional doubt might be, if you take the example of a false memory obsession, you are, going through your life normally, and all of a sudden it occurs to you, you hadn't thought about this in a while, and you remember that there was this time in college where you drank too much alcohol and you blacked out. It's one of those weird situations a lot of us have been in, where you don't know your own limits, and you drank a lot of alcohol, and literally the next thing you remember is waking up in the morning. That has happened to a lot of people. And what as you're thinking about this, you suddenly start to wonder, I wonder if I may have done something bad in that time that I was blacked out. And you start thinking about it, and you start saying to yourself, people aren't always themselves when they're drunk. They do things that are out of character. Parties at college can get really crazy. I've been hearing in the news all of these stories coming from, women, perhaps, that are making accusations against men. So, that might be, something that pops in your mind if you're a guy having this concern. And so, you're going to, get absorbed in this, and then you're going to start overusing your senses. You're going to start trying to search your memories and figure out if there's anything that you can find in there to tell you whether you did something good or bad in this time you were blacked out. And this is going to take over your life, and then suddenly you're all the time just worrying about, what you could have done, what you don't remember, and you're walking around life getting triggered left and right by things you might hear in the news, by people saying a certain word or sharing a certain anecdote, or just, quiet moments where, you're just, hit by the doubt again. And so this is actually obsessional doubt. And the reason why this is obsessional doubt is because there was no external evidence coming to you telling you that the specific thing you're worried about is something you should be concerned with. This is an internally generated process that you're going through to decide you are going to doubt what you know. You are going to doubt what may have happened in the past, because you're having the motivation to do that, out of fear, but it's still a motivation that is internal. And so, to put it simply, there was no sour milk, right? There was nothing that came to you telling you, you did this, and everything you think you know about your college experience is wrong. There was something you didn't remember, and this is exactly what it was. So no accuser came forward. Nothing from the outside world came to you as evidence. And then you get confused though, because you're searching your memories and you might even start imagining memories, which is very possible. And then those imagined memories can make you feel guilty and anxious, and because the things you imagine can, impact your nervous system in the same way that something in reality can impact your nervous system. It makes you have all those feelings. And, so then you're stuck in this place of obsessional doubt. And that is exactly how OCD works. And so, we can take anything, we can take germs. You suddenly are walking around in public and touch something, and the thing that you touched wasn't visibly dirty, it wasn't wet, there was nothing, gross on it, but you have the doubt, what if there is something on that surface I just touched? Because germs exist, people get sick, you're using all these kind of general abstract arguments to tell yourself that this surface is contaminated and something I should concern myself with. So, really that's how OCD works. I have decided to doubt myself, and nothing in the outside world happened. There was no event in the present moment that included evidence to tell me to doubt. So, that's really what we're targeting with OCD when we talk about ICBT. We're looking at this process of obsessional doubt. And like I said, forget about that cycle of avoidance. It's not even necessary, and it'll actually make you confused. We're just looking at, when do you go from that place of feeling functionally certain and okay and not worried to a place of I'm doubting, I'm going to, review things, I'm going to tell a story in my imagination, and then eventually do, compulsions. But we're getting, way upstream. We're getting at the start of the OCD sequence, and we're just looking at helping you to figure out, what's driving this, and we're going to look at how you're selective with what you're doubting. You're doubting some things and not others, even though you could doubt everything if you really wanted to. And then, using that selectivity to increase your awareness and start to look at what are the reasons you're using to doubt yourself. And let's see what those reasons are. So, and then of course, discover that none of those reasons are going to include that direct, undeniable sensory evidence in the present moment. All right, guys, hope this was a clarification and a helpful video on a very important concept called obsessional doubt. Until next time, trust yourselves and take care.